just not feeling it. You guys try really hard to not shame designers, and I give you credit for that, but you are shaming the designers. When you say it's almost an insult to wear a designer after Roja Dove, it doesn't matter how many disclaimers you throw in after that, you have shat on designers. And once you say that, anyone who prefers designers can never trust anything that you ever say. I don't blame you, because this is a divide that you really can't straddle. But I have tried a Ventus, Dove, a bunch of Tom Fords, and they just kind of suck. I traded my 5 ml decant of a Ventus for a bottle of Nautica Voyage, and still consider myself the winner. Bottom line is that while you say you are trying to be inclusive, everything you say about designer fragrances ends up sounding condescending. I'm not right, and you are not wrong, but I will never be able to listen to your podcast because I know that you are biased towards niche. Best of luck to you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another brand spanking new episode of the Cologne Podcast.
I'm Myke. Go ahead.
He's Ryan, and I'm Myke.
And we're two best friends going on a fragrance journey and giving you that uneducated, partially biased opinion.
That's right. And today we're taking a look at yet another niche fragrance because we're niche snobs. This fragrance is Elysium Eau Intense by Roja Parfums.
Oh, baby!
Come on, baby!
Oh, God. Can you tell we're Hernsey for it, guys?
Oh, yeah, we're excited for sure. But let me tell you who's not excited about it.
Go for it.
Apple Nerd on Fragrantica. Apple Nerd says, LMFAO, everyone bought the original complaining about 2 hours longevity. Now that all the bottles are sold, they're back with the flanker that fixes the complaints. All for another $300, right? It was more of a comment than a review.
Wait. He's saying the bottles are sold, so they're not making the other one anymore? The Parfum Cologne?
No, I think he's just saying, they've made their money. Now they're coming out.
Okay.
Yeah, to fix the complaints, rather than reformulating the original to fix the complaints.
Well, I mean, if the juice is made, why sit on it or pour it out down the fucking sidewalk?
Well, I mean, you could just exchange it for a bunch of Nautica Voyage if you wanted.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. And then we'll get into our one-night stand review of Vetiver Gris. And then we'll get on to this fucking show smelling what we hope is one of the best niche fragrances of all time.
You know who said it before this guy said it, which he didn't leave his name, so we'll just refer to him as anonymous?
Yeah.
Steve said it. He's like, man, you guys say that you like designer, you say you like these things, but you're always touting about some $400 niche thing.
I'll speak for me just kind of briefly here. I'm absolutely designer over here, bro. I can tell you, I can open my sock drawer up and show you my collection of fragrances. Right now I have, and by the way, I bought all this on our fragrances, so discounted, guys. But I've got Issey Miyake, not the regular one, but the other one. What was that?
The
one?
Intense one?
Yeah, I think so. And that was like 20 something bucks. I got Guerlain Vetiver. I guess that may be considered niche, but I got that for like $80, big 5-ounce bottle. Acqua.
Oh, Acqua.
Got that from our fragrances discounted. And I've got Luna Rossa Carbon.
Well,
that's all that I have to my name right now. The only niche I have is a Roja Parfum. And it's one that you bought me.
Yeah.
And that's
for Best Friends Day.
Yeah, for Best Friends Day. Parfum
Elysium.
Cologne Elysium. Yeah.
And by the way, he lumped in Tom Ford with the niche. And it's like, come on, anonymous guy, give us Tom Ford at least. That is a designer fragrance.
You can walk into Dillard's with that shit.
Yeah, you can get that at any designer shopping outlet thing.
First off, to the person that wrote this email, if by chance you haven't stopped listening to us, it doesn't matter because we're going to give you a link to this motherfucking episode when we get done. But I don't have any ill will towards this person because I think that the way I'm reading it, I feel like they're jaded, but I really can't tell, and by our actions, not his own like assumptions.
Yeah.
Because in one part, and if anybody knows what episode this is, I like to kind of know and go back and listen to it. Because you got to keep in mind, we've done 226, this will be 27 fucking episodes.
That's just the ones we've released. We've actually done a few handful that haven't been released.
But he says, the part that he quoted is saying it's almost an insult to wear a designer after Roja Dove. I need to know what that one is. But for me, I think the reason why we probably gravitate to want to smell niche It's because we can't afford it. It's like always getting to see what's on the other side of the fence. For me, at least, it's fun. It is fun to smell something different. I can smell this other shit.
I'm not going to defend ourselves because at the end of the day, it's a personal preference that speaks directly to you.
Yeah.
I think the reason why we end up leaning niche or getting more excited about niche is because they're so unique compared to designer fragrances, and that's lumping it in. This is a gross generalization of niche and designer, but I'll say primarily the really popular designers fit within one or two type things. They're spicy and sweet, they're fresh and fruity. In a way, they're more generic than some of the niche because the niche have a little bit more personality. They have a little bit more room. After you smell hundreds of them, the ones that are going to stick out are the ones with more personality.
Yeah.
And when you're smelling hundreds of fragrances, that's just how it is.
And to kind of tie into our one night stand review and to tie into this email, there's another episode coming up, probably after this one. We've already recorded it. We did something special. But when we were on remote, if you will, and we were smelling some different fragrances, there was one by Coach called Open Road.
Yeah.
I can get that motherfucker for $46 on our fragrances right fucking now.
Yeah, 100 mil.
And I'm going to tell you, we're going to spoil this part of it. It's not a part of the episode, but it's a part of this right here.
Yeah.
That fragrance smells fucking good.
That's great.
We were shocked.
We both were like, wow, that's pretty cool. And it's old Jean-Christophe, the guy who did Aventus as well.
Exactly. So people that are making niche fragrances, they're making designer.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, can you hate us for liking something? I don't fucking know.
No, it doesn't matter. And look, some of the ones that we really like, we haven't done episodes on, like the original Le Male.
I love that one. In fact, we got it here. I brought my version of it here. Designer.
Yeah. And made by Francis Kurkdjian.
Yeah. Niche.
At the end of the day, if you're still listening to us, you probably agree that you're going to come across some niche you really love. You're going to come across some designers that you really love. Do you really have to paint yourself into the corner of only being designer, only being niche? Like this guy sounds like he's saying, if you like designers, you can't like niche. And if you like niche, you can't like designers.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I think we really do like both sides of it. We can straddle it just fine.
Yeah, we're straddling it.
Yeah, we're straddling real good. Okay.
There you go.
We're done straddling that subject.
Let's straddle our one night stand review. Hit the music, Todd.
Yeah. One night stand review.
Well, Mike, after stalking Jean-Christophe Hero, what do you have to say about Vetiver Gris? You were freaking Hornsey Town about it.
Yeah.
Coming back from Mulan.
Dude, it's a great fragrance. I seriously pulled it up and I almost bought it. I had it pulled up on the computer when you left.
Yeah.
I had almost bought it.
And I think it was cheaper than what we had said on the episode.
Yeah, I think it ended up being like $120 after the conversion.
Which is crazy.
It's legit crazy. But speaking of crazy, we've spent some money here recently. Yeah. We bought a bottle of Evening Mystique. We just bought Elysium. Oh, Intense we're about to smell. So we've put out some money.
Well, he's adding like we just spent $1,000. We bought the 10 mil.
Yeah, it's $80.
But that's a lot of fucking money.
That's a lot of money for us. So yeah, it's after I'd kind of spent money on that, I was like, I just can't allot the amount to just throw.
Yeah.
But I really like it. It's one that eventually, once I use some of what I have in my own huge collection of only niche fragrances, and once I use up a few more of those, it may be one that replaces one of the fresher fragrances.
If I hadn't bought Vetiver by Guerlain, which I love that fragrance, if I hadn't have bought that already at a discount, I would definitely hop on board this. That was a badass smell, and it's still a straight up buy for me. The moment my Vetiver is out, which will probably be around this summertime, that's probably going to restock up on.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Good. She's
so good. Is that one considered niche or designer at that price?
I mean, it doesn't really have to do with price. I think the definition, the technical definition, and I'm probably getting this wrong, but we'll just go with it.
Yeah.
A designer is a company that makes more than just fragrances. Like Tom Ford, for example, has Tom Ford Beauty. They do makeup, they do clothing.
Gotcha.
All different kinds of stuff, right? So if you think about any of them, Coach, for example, they make Coach bags, obviously.
No.
So the companies that make more than just the fragrance are designers, where the companies that only make fragrances are technically niche, I guess.
Yeah.
That was the definition I've heard in the past. I don't know if that stands true today,
that
but
makes sense.
I'm living with it.
I think that, or like just for me, I I think niche is like just like a small house that like really makes some hardcore shit behind the scenes.
Yeah, but then you get into like indies that are like
that's true.
indie fragrance houses like that. So we don't want to get too technical. That's not what this podcast is. But if you're going to force us in, Mr. Anonymous, and make us choose, we're going to choose We Like It All.
Yeah, I like it all. And you know what? Regardless of what the email was to us and saying you don't want to listen to us again, that part does suck. But I do want to thank you really, truly for writing us and letting us know how you feel. I know you may hear this and may not think that if you listen to it. You may not think that, but I'm really am being serious.
Yeah.
Thank you for sending that because you took time out of your day to write us on something that felt important to you. And I don't want to take that away from you. I think you're very much valid to have your opinion. And you may be right to some degree. I think there's a little thing in his sentence where he said, hey, I'm not right and you're not wrong. I think there's something to that.
For sure. And I think the main thing that everybody has to, if they don't already recognize about this podcast, is it's all a little tongue in cheek with us.
Yeah.
We're just having funsies. So at some point, if we do say it's almost an insult to wear a designer fragrance after smelling whatever Roja Duff fragrance, we're obviously joking.
Yeah.
But...
Are we, Mike?
We're about to find out. Let's get into it, baby. The scent of the day, Elysium, Oh Intense by Roja Parfums.
Go for it.
No, it's you, baby.
Guys, I'm legitimately nervous about smelling this. By the way, Roja Dove's grown a few inches on us over here.
Oh, yeah. It's a bigger, they used to be 7.5 mil. He's dropping all 10 mil on us.
Yeah.
That's a long, girthy decant right there.
Boy, it is. And it's really pretty, honestly. God, it is sick.
It's done better because this is actually kind of frosted like the bottles are.
That's nice.
The old ones were just clear with a sticker.
This is badass. Look, guys, I'm legitimately nervous because I'm telling you, besides Acqua, if I was going to say my favorite fragrance of all time right now, it would be the original Elysium, the Parfum. And then we were just kind of talking about it before we got on. I know I'm dragging this on, but we were just talking about it before we got on. And the one thing that I love about the original is that to me, it smells like the freshest cucumber water thing. It's like it's fresh and masculine,
right?
And realistic. And then for Best Friends Day, you got me the Parfum Cologne, and it's like super tart
and peppery
and sharp. I fucking love that one.
We couldn't put our finger on what it smelled like until somebody said grapefruit over and over again. Then I was like, oh, I kind of get like just if you were to squeeze a grapefruit, just the mist that comes from the outer layer, you know, the zest of it.
Yeah.
I could get that.
God.
So I'm dying. Hurry, open this up and spray it, my man.
Okay, yeah, so to say that I'm nervous is an understatement.
I've heard a bunch of people say that they don't get the original Elysium, but in the air, I kind of do.
I get more of the original, not the Parfum Cologne. Man.
Wow, and it is loud.
It is loud.
I haven't put anything up to my nose yet, so my hand is on the table, card is on the table, and I can smell it. That's a good sign.
Man, this is really close to the original Parfum, having that, to me, more of a cucumber kind of smell to it, but there's a little bit more edge to it. That one is more realistic. This is a little died down, but this is like, it's got a little bit more air around it, if that makes sense.
I'm not loving it on the skin.
Let me see.
It's kind of sour. It reminds me of, people are going to get so irritated by me saying this. It reminds me of when somebody makes an Aventus clone, an X-straight.
Okay.
And it has like this tinge in it that smells like, oh, it's really concentrated. And when it dries down, it'll be great. But right off the rip, it's like, it's a little stanky. I mean, I know we shouldn't be like cramming our nose in it anyway. So, I mean, in the air, it's fantastic. And it really does remind me of Elysium.
It does. If you like the Parfum Cologne, and yeah, I kind of agree. Its longevity's it's meh. I really don't care.
Yeah.
We've said in previous episodes, that has been the fragrance when me and Mike are going in somewhere for a business interview. We're like lacing up immediately right before we get out the car.
Yeah.
We know we smell like $1 million. That one is definitely tart, more tart and just sharp on top.
Yeah, and kind of peppery.
Yeah.
If you don't cram your nose in it, if you give yourself, let's say 5 or 6 inches, and you're smelling it, it's really fresh. It does still have that otherworldly citrus type smell.
Definitely does. This is going to be a shitty comparison, because it doesn't smell like gasoline or diesel or anything like that. But there is something in there that does remind me of Christian Dior's.
Fahrenheit.
It does. Something there.
I can get where you're going with that. I don't really pick that up, but I feel the edge that you're kind of talking about.
Weird. It's like a mixture of that to me and a mixture of the original Elysium, which something about that's kind of good to me. I like that.
Yeah, this is really good, especially on the tester strip. It's really, really nice.
A few people said that they feel like it's more herbaceous. Do you feel like it's that? I don't get that.
Maybe if they spray their skin like I did and they're right up against it, for the name, for it being intense.
Yeah.
It feels like that to me.
Really?
It feels like a more intense version of Elysium.
I don't get that. Doesn't mean I don't like it, but I don't get that.
Really? Because a lot of the reviews kept saying it's different than Elysium. I don't really get Elysium. Some people said it's kind of darker. It's got some other stuff going on. I didn't know what to expect, but really, I get it.
You get it? Okay. Cardstock's nice.
This just goes to show you with fragrances too. Two different people, same room, same atomizer, same tester strips, and completely different perspectives on it.
Yeah. I'm not like off kilter about it. I don't feel negative about it.
No, I don't think you're coming off that way.
It is perplexing. I would think if you're on the fence about spending 585 buckaroonies for 1.7 ounces of the original Elysium, this is kind of like your rental experience.
Okay.
If you want to be able to buy
the poor man's version.
Yeah, I think so.
I can kind of see that.
Which for me, that's nice because I can't afford 585.
Yeah.
Let's do the trend. Trend, obviously, it's brand new. It's just starting, so it's probably going to be up, down.
It's popcorn.
Yeah. But price $385 for 100 ml. So not too bad. I mean, it is, but it's
it's a hefty price tag. But for a Roja Dove, if you're looking at the price tags, yeah, I can't wait till it hits discounters though.
You'll be watching like a hawk.
It's not bad.
It's really riding the line between Fahrenheit meets Elysium. It's like those two scents are fighting for me.
I feel bad saying this, but I feel like we just got to be honest with the listeners. To me, this feels like if we put it in a decant without all this beautiful packaging.
I'm scared to know where you're going with this.
And I sprayed it on my skin.
Don't do it, bro.
To me, it smells like somebody tried to clone Elysium and said, but I made it more intense than Elysium. And I go, yeah, it's got some of that kind of dirtiness that I'd expect from a clone house.
Do you get fresher compared to what do you think people mean by fresh in this?
Yeah, because some people said they should have called it Elysium Eau Fresh.
Yeah, what does fresh mean to certain people? Because to me, I know this, I'm so ridiculous here, but we were discussing beforehand, but like to me, fresh is like when I smell the Parfum Cologne, that juicy, tart citrus. It's so fucking nuts. That's fresh.
Well,
so if it was more of that.
I think that's what people are saying. Like maybe they're getting such a strong dose of citrus on this. I get where they're going with it. I do. God, it is really close to the original, and that is a win for me. There is something to that I fucking love. I still think there's a difference that would make, if you're at $400 or you could spend $500 and save up more, I would just tell you, wait, Ryan. Really? Yeah, just wait and get the Parfum. Well, you don't know what I'm doing yet because we're not going to buy it. No. You just created the scenario earlier. 385, that's close. I mean, honestly, our fragrance has the Parfum for $250 for a 50 ml. Really? Yeah. Oh, it was $259, wasn't it? I think so. And we debated it to show you that we're broke. We debated splitting it, yeah. A 50 ml decant of that. Right. Because we love that fragrance so much, and everybody's posting it in all their little fragrance chat groups. Like, oh my God, I just got my bottle. And we kept watching it dwindle and dwindle, and then there's no more stock. And now we're sold like, out. Fuck. And that one too, it's because I've bought a 10 ml decant of it, and it was almost $100. And I was like, $125 and I get 25 mil versus a 10 mil. Yeah, all day, baby. Damn, that is a good deal. Our fragrances, if you're listening and you want to stock our fridges, we love you. I'm telling you, for me, it's obviously not 1-to-1, but if you do love the original and you didn't like the Parfum Cologne because it's straight off from the original, I feel like this is more like the intense of that. But to me, it's a little bit, I keep saying air around it. I don't know what that means, but there's like an air around the fragrance. Yeah, if I'm being real though, and I smell this card, smells more lemony to me on the card. Damn, I don't get that at all. And the skin is now moving into that parfum cologne type vibe.
I got to ask, who's wearing this? Because I'm smelling it right now, and it does smell pretty high-end to me. Like a real bougie person is going to be having this on.
I think if you had more money, it'd be you.
Oh, no fucking doubt it'd be me.
I think it's you. I think it's you with a better bank account.
Yeah, somebody who's actually bougie and not, want to be bougie over here.
A niche snob with designer budget.
Yeah. Not even that. I'm buying that shit at discount.
Yeah, no shit.
I love it, but you think it's it's a fucking frag head. They're wanting to experience something different.
Somebody that is dedicated to the brand, Roja Parfums. Yeah. I think if you really love it, that's why I think it's you. Because I feel like you have an affinity for the whole house, the whole collection.
I do.
Me, I'm like, I like this one, or, oh, this one's nice, or I don't vibe with that one. I'm not like sold out to it. I think I used to love it more. And then after he just kept rejecting us, never being on the podcast, I think I was just like, you know what?
I was just about to mention that. Guys, we've wrote him.
It's not happening, guys. We've tried.
Yeah, we've tried since season 1 to reach out to Roja Dove. It's just not going to fucking happen. Doesn't mean he hates us. I just don't think we're on his radar.
Yeah. I just think he doesn't know about us.
But one day we will. And I'm going to get Roja Dove on here, and I'm going to confess all my love for its fragrances. And then he's going to say, please stop. You're being weird.
I don't think you're wrong. I think there's a lot of passion and work that go into these fragrances, even this one. And I'm saying I'm not vibing with it, but I'm not saying it's not a great fragrance. I'm not saying that it's not great for somebody out there. That's another thing too. Guys, if you're taking our word as the gospel, that is not what this podcast is about. You got to try these for yourself, But you may find over time that, oh, you know what? My tastes align more with Ryan, or my tastes align more with Myke, and that's fine too. But my own perspective is to say, it's nice. It's a nice fragrance, but stacked up next to the Parfum Cologne or the Parfum, I think either one I like more than I like this.
While you were just giving your fucking
eulogy
speech, I was looking at the notes because on the skin, it's doing something a little watery. I don't know if you'll like that.
I don't pick that up yet.
I don't mean salty ocean type of thing. It just has a little watery vibe kind of going on.
I'm not there yet, but I know the whole advert they put out was like a world with crystal waters. And so I assume there would be some sort of aquatic nature to it.
Do you feel like this is dressed up business? Do you think this is more you're on vacation?
Yeah, I think this is more t-shirt and jeans.
I think so too. I really do, which is kind of weird because it's intense, right?
Yeah, but as a profile, I feel like Elysium in general is just more of a playful summertime scent.
Have we had a fragrance? I know I asked this like probably 10, 15, 20,000 episodes ago, but have we had a fragrance where we've liked the original and then they had an intense and it was like literally intense version of that?
Never.
Like what we think intense. Every time these houses say intense, I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be that note that I love turned up to a fucking 10. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but...
And then it's like, oh, this is different.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's exactly that. But I'm going to keep bringing chocolate into it because it's literally the cheapest point of entry for anybody out there. When you think about putting more chocolate into a chocolate bar with the same serving size, it gets more bitter and more bitter. So I think, like for you, somebody who doesn't like dark chocolate, if they add more chocolate in, it changes the whole vibe of it. Even if they just make the thing that it is, chocolate, more intense, Yeah. And I think that's maybe the case. Maybe these fragrance houses are making just a more intense version, but because of the way things just formulate, it changes it completely.
You may be right on that. That may be what it is. I cannot like this. It's what I like about the original Parfum. It's not as enriching as that one is. That one's just, it's holy.
Yeah, if you're comparing the two, the Parfum to the Parfum Cologne, I think, night and day, the Parfum is going to win.
Yeah, it's just incredible. By the way, our listener Helen messaged us today, and she's thinking about doing it's like a Roja Dove online class.
The perfume class. Yeah, well, we've talked about doing that.
God bless, man. Helen, if you do that, you got to let us know how it went because I would be jealous. I was almost like, because when she first sent it, I was thinking, oh, it's just an online thing. Anybody can do it. But I think it's aimed at primarily people in Australia. But I was going to be like, you know what? Let's conjure up the money and let's do it in installments.
Yeah.
And that way, whenever like they do an online class, she like sees us and they're like, hey, surprise.
What's up? That would be cool. We had talked about it before, and I think we've even said it on the podcast. There were a few people that were like, you idiots know that Roja Dove doesn't perfume all of his fragrances, right?
Yeah.
They were like, it's just like Tom Ford. Tom Ford's not back there mixing it up. I'm like, well, Tom Ford wasn't a perfumer, but Roja Dove really is a perfumer.
Yeah, he worked for Guerlain for 40 odd years.
Yeah. So it's easy to assume that he would be. Yeah. But now that we've seen kind of behind the curtain a little bit of doing so many fragrances, it does also make sense that he doesn't as well.
Yeah.
Maybe he comes up with the initial brief and says something like this, and then they go, I'll add some raspberry or whatever.
And you know what? I just don't care.
I don't either.
But all to say, I would actually love to attend one of those classes.
Yeah, same.
It'd be bad. So, Helen, if you get to do it, Godspeed, our friend, and let us know. All right. Skip it.
Sample it.
Buy it.
What are you going to do, Ryan?
Oh, God. This is the hardest one I'll ever have to answer.
Oh, I didn't think about it. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a difficult one.
Because this is, guys, just hear me. If you trust me, just trust me that I say this is like, there's a junior in the family. He's not quite like his dad or whatever. I feel like this is similar so much to the original Elysium Pour Homme Parfum. It has that cucumber water kind of vibe to me, but there's a little bit more air around it. A little bit more air, like breezy, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that's maybe the freshness. And so I do love it. For me personally, if I had the money, $385 to $585, God, I'd probably want the original Elysium so much. But in saying that, I'd probably be content buying this. I think I would buy this.
Yeah.
It's a hard one for me to answer, though.
I think you would. In the air, I just sprayed it again, and I'm not bringing it up to my nose. But in the air, it really does smell like a more intense version of Elysium to me. Ryan's trying it.
Yeah.
Just when you get it splashing up in your face.
God, it is so close to the Pour Homme when I'm just like not up to it, just smell like this.
Yeah, it definitely leans closer to the Parfum than the Parfum Cologne.
You know when you threw a bitch fit about me not smelling Elysium on you the other day, and you're like, I don't ever want that fucking fragrance again, remember?
Mm-hmm.
I think if you walked in with this and I didn't know it existed, I'd go, man, are you wearing Elysium? It would smell like it.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was just saying. Spraying it on the skin, not trying to sniff it like a perfume snob, but literally just picking it up in the air like somebody else would. It really does smell like Elysium magnified.
Yeah, and kind of, like I said, it has this air around it, guys. And now that I've kind of got that picture in my head, yeah, that's a good buy for me.
I mean, to a certain degree, we really are being overcritical when we're smelling these fragrances. And that's kind of our job on the podcast, is to do that. But if you step outside of that, like we just smell it on somebody else, or we're just smelling it to smell it and not to try to break it down and give you guys the full rundown. We're not being hypercritical, but we're just smelling it. What does it remind me of? I think in the air, it's a great fragrance that is more of an intense Elysium.
That's the perfect way to describe it, man. I'm serious.
When you get close to your skin, when you get close to the card, it changes. But in the air, it is Elysium.
What's your answer, though?
I can't say that I'd buy it. I think it's a sample.
Blasphemous.
I'm all for somebody buying the Parfum or the Parfum Cologne, but buying this is going to be to each individual person. You're going to have to sample it first. I think for me, I'm glad that I'm smelling it, but if I were to put my money down, I think I would lean harder towards probably having the Parfum, or I would rather have a more affordable bottle of the Parfum Cologne and just go crazy spraying it.
Yeah. The Parfum Cologne is not a fucking slouch.
It's nice.
That sharp tart on top that it comes out with on top is one of the most unique things I've ever smelled in fragrances. I love it.
I've gotten so many people that say, wow, you smell great. I love what you're wearing on the Parfum Cologne, because it is louder. It's louder than the Parfum for sure.
It's a pretty fragrance, man.
Yeah. So for me, it's a sample. I think this is, having a 10 mil of this, great. I'd probably wear it occasionally, but 10 mil would do me plenty. I think Ryan needs a full bottle.
God, I do. God, why can't we be rich, man? If I was fucking rich, dude, I'd have this whole goddamn collection of shit, dude. and I'd be walking around smelling like...
Then you wouldn't be rich again.
Yeah,
You'd have it all spent.
Well, okay, guys, that's today's episode. And what's our next one going to be? I think we should tease what we did a little bit.
Okay. We bought, I say we, but Ryan bought a bottle of Summer Vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going to do an episode on that and give it away to a Patreon. But when we did the episode, neither one of us really cared for it. And it was like, why would we give away a fragrance that neither one of us really loved?
Yeah, it was... God, I hate being ugly, but fuck, man. It wasn't a bad smell, but it's got to be one of the like least summer vibe, least inspiring fragrances I've ever smelled in a long time.
Yeah, you know how we feel about designer fragrances. Well, either way, we decided rather than give this out, let's go return it. Because these are things you can do, people. You're not stuck with a fragrance if you bought it and you wear it and you don't like it. That's why you got to sample these.
I bought it from Ulta.
Yeah. So we were like, why don't we go back, smell a few of the fragrances, and find one that we both really do like, and let's give that one away to the Patreons. That way we can be hyped on the fragrance and be excited about what we're giving away.
Yeah.
And we recorded an episode doing that in the truck.
That's right. We laved up, guys.
That's it.
And it's super awkward.
Yeah. You can tell we've never done that before.
But we laved up. We drove all the way there. We're going to condense that. We may pick snippets out of it. We may let you listen to the whole thing. I don't know. But we recorded the whole thing. Us getting out of the car. People talking to us in the store. That was fun.
Yeah.
We never, I just want to say this, we never have motherfuckers talk to us in public ever.
But as soon as we got the mic turned on,
it's like,
hey, I like that one.
Yeah, hey.
That was good.
God bless her. She was sweet, though.
Yeah. So that episode is coming up where you take a road trip with us. We get up there, we smell some fragrances, we exchange for one that we think the Patrons will really love and that we're excited to give away. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. And until next time,
spray it up, y'all.